A lot of people in the VR scene have heard of Bootstrap Island. It's sort of a stranded on an island kind of game, but you don't really hear a lot about this game, which is pretty similar. Memories from Beyond a Coral Sea. I actually got this during a Humble Bundle, so I figured since I owned it, I'd give it a shot and see if this game just isn't popular due to it being trash, or if it's a hidden gem. So here's my thoughts. The game starts with a short narration by the main character, giving the premise of the game, where you're traveling in a 17th century type ship and end up getting caught in a storm. And then it tells you to lie down and close your eyes, so that when you hear the seagulls you know to open your eyes and get that feeling of having washed up ashore, which honestly I can't think of another VR game that has had me do that. Now, it's an older game, so it has teleport locomotion. Well, actually I lied. They had an update that enabled free locomotion, but it just didn't work for me at all, so for some reason I had to stick to teleport.
And as I took my first steps in that unknown land, it felt strange and wonderful.
It does have swimming mechanics though, which was pretty underwater, but the ocean's wave shader was a little wonky in my opinion.
Just move your arms and keep your head above the water, Uncle Thomas used to say. I never saw him swim though.
It does have a pretty cool inventory system where you put your head in a bag to access all the things you've picked up, which was a neat little trick.
And there I found it. A bag from the ship. Another lucky survivor of the storm. Something in the back of my head told me a rope could be good to keep.
And speaking of the things that you picked up, the game wasn't hand-holdy at all. You really had to walk around and just look for things and see if they would help you out at all. At times I thought to myself, wow, this is really what it would feel like to get stranded. And feeling stumped about how to progress the game, I figured if this ever happened, I'd be a goner.
Although glad to be alive, soon I began to realize in truth how terrible was my condition. I had a dreadful deliverance, for I was wet, had no clothes to shift me, nor anything to eat or drink to comfort me. Neither did I see any prospects before me, but that of perishing with hunger or being devoured by the frying sun.
I saw an island in the distance, so after not figuring out what to do, I had the genius idea to swim there, which of course caused me to drown from fatigue.
I started to feel a fatigue creeping up on me. Maybe I wasn't as good a swimmer as I first thought.
Luckily, it respawned me back to the starting island.
So where was I? Oh yes, I woke up.
Not this shit again. The longer I was stuck, I started to feel like I was going crazy. I ended up finding a Wilson-like friend.
A queer little creature it was. It put me in a good mood. I felt like giving it a name. Maybe Robert after a friend.
Now that I wasn't the only one stranded in this godforsaken place, I decided Robert and I could use some shelter. There's no place like home. Does this count as a cozy game? I saw Robert making a break for the other island, so I had to stop him before he made the same mistake I did. And just so he couldn't, escape, I placed him in our beachfront villa. I added this really pretty shell I found so he wouldn't be lonely either. Aw, what a cute couple. Just so you know, I probably spent another 30 minutes on this island chilling with Robert, trying to figure out what to do. But in efforts to keep the video shorter, let's just say we re-renovated our house into a boat. Can't forget Robert or Roberta. Then we sailed off to the New World. And by New World, I meant that other island. And by sail, I mean painstakingly row 1,000,000 times. Like, holy sh**, they really wanted you to feel the sensation of rowing for your life. My arms were legitimately getting really sore from rowing. But when I finally did reach the next area, it was really cool transitioning the level by turning nighttime and falling asleep till morning.
I lost all sense of time. Left was only the sea, the soft wind, and the salt air. I was alone.
Wait, flesh-eating beasts? This game isn't super long, but it did have some really interesting moments that really had me feeling like a 17th century French man.
A coat of the latest French cut.
For a very long time, I had not worn such fine garments. It felt good, smooth linen against rough, sunburnt skin.
Oh, and you can't forget fending off from some killer crabs. Or like stealing eggs from seagulls. And getting faced.
Good for me, but it was tempting. During the dark days of my life,
Nearly f***ing my pants. And finding a real friend for Robert.
faint.
And then licking some suspicious frogs. And eventually bringing me and my little buddy up to the top. Come here, little guy. Don't go in expecting this to be a replayable game like Bootstrap, because it's more of a very interactive storybook type thing. But if you can look past the early VR game jank, I personally found it very memorable. Well, if it looks like something you'd fancy, check it out. It's been fun. Space Code out. Peace.